The new party 1019. The new party 1019. The new party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Outside the Booth, where we talk to DJs about their life and experiences. I go by the name of DJ Kamish alongside BX, even though I'm not alongside you right now. I am on location. It is Independence Weekend or Independence Week / weekend.
4th of July celebration this week.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on, right? So it's a big day in the entertainment business. It's a big day in sports too, but we'll get to that in some point. But it's definitely a big day in the entertainment business, especially here in New York, right? We're going to be talking about Diddy in a little bit. There's a lot happening there. Actually, what do you think, BX? What do you got a little bit more information than I do? I've been kind of ripping and running today, but I've been trying to get up to date on everything that's going on with that situation.
First, we're going to do it in our true outside the booth fashion, and we're going to thank everyone for liking us, subscribing to us, watching us on YouTube. Follow us, give us 5 stars, and if you don't, you're just hating.
Absolutely.
But today is a big day in hip hop. It's a big day in entertainment. For those that don't know, the verdict for Diddy was in today. It was a split decision, a split verdict. He was found guilty on 3 charges for the sex trafficking, for the RICO charge, and found guilty on the 2 transportation of prostitution charges for Jane and for Cassie. So those are holding a possible 10-year maximum. It hasn't been confirmed yet if there's going to be consecutive or concurrent with the charges. Now, all day, Kamish, the media was stating that he was coming home, he's getting out, he's been in there for 9 months and things of that nature. And it was a good chance that at his bail hearing today, which was at 5 p.m., that he might have been granted bail to where it was going to be $1 million bond. 3 reliable sources were going to co-sign for that $1 million bond. He was going to surrender his passport and only be allowed to go to his homes, which is in Florida, I think New York, and Miami and California. But they were mostly just stating his home in Star Island in Miami. So the big deal today is, 1, he was found not guilty on the RICO charges. With those 3 charges, they all carried life sentences. So that was a big win for the defense team. And the shocker was this afternoon at 5 o'clock, where myself, along with a bunch of other people, thought he was going to be granted bail. And the judge denied his bail. So he will not be coming home. So it's a pretty big day in hip hop. It's a pretty big day in music, pretty big day in entertainment. And I've been following this trial for the last 8 weeks. So I don't know about you or other watchers and listeners of the podcast, but what do you think after hearing all of that stuff? Because I've been glued to the television today.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I have not been following this. Like, okay. I'm not going to say that I don't care, but I have not been following this. Like, I try to, even though I'm a DJ and this is what I'm in this industry, I do what I do. I make music as well, but I try to stay as far away from
controversy.
I stay as far away from it as I can. I really do. So part of me does not care, but part of me knows that, you should keep up to date on what's going on, right? Like,
these are hot topics. This is what the people want to know about what's going on.
I look at it this way. Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
What made you think that he was coming home today?
Because the 2 charges that he was found guilty on, they carry a maximum of 10 years. However, he has 0 counts against him, which means, per the legal specialists that have been reporting, that he has no priors. So if he had no priors, then they pose him, and it's not a huge criminal act, it's not considered, he won't be considered a flight risk. There's no danger to anybody or anything like that. However, the witnesses,
About Diddy here, though.
Jane, say that again?
We're talking about Diddy.
I understand that, but it's all still, these are all emotions that everybody's basing it off of, but they haven't proven in court, and that's why he's found not guilty. They haven't proven in court that he's done any of these violent crimes or threatened anybody or anything like that. Outside of him beating on Cassie, that was terrible. But other than that, can we really say after he was locked up or even after they broke up that he was harassing her and threatening her life? Like, do we know that he's done that to her or Jane? Because those are the two guilty charges. So that's what I'm only basing my statements off of. What are we basing it off of if he's found not guilty on the 3 charges that could have gotten him life in prison? And DWI is here. So D, what do you have to say about this today?
I stand with the good brother Kamish says. Like, I've been hearing it, from every direction. I've been in and out the country, so I've been really not in the puppy zone for this last 3 weeks. But I will say that it's just interesting to see how people turn into lawyers, doctors, and judges. when it has something to do with somebody else. But everybody knows the law now. Everybody knows the law, and everybody understands the stipulations and all that. But I'm just, I want people to be held accountable for things that they do, but I don't like the overdoing it. I don't like them bringing out sex trafficking when a chick flew me out to Canada. Now I'm at the border about to be handcuffed because she paid for my services. But anyway, I think
it's certain things that are a little questionable because people are crossing state lines to go see their lovers all the time.
Let me. This is the part that bothers me, and I had a full debate with my other half about an hour ago. So let me just read you with this. He was found guilty basically on those prostitution charges off of the Mann Act. So what is the Mann Act? The Mann Act, which is officially called the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910.
Yo, I swear they be playing in America. Go ahead, keep going.
It is a United States federal law that prohibits the transportation of individuals across state lines for the purpose of prostitution or other immoral activities. It is named after Illinois Congressman James R. Mann. The act has been amended over time, most notably in 1978 and in 1986, to include protections for minors and broaden the definition of immoral purposes. All right. So key aspects of the Mann Act says it criminalizes interstate transportation. It is a felony to knowingly transport someone across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, debauchery, and any other immoral purpose.
Okay.
That in itself is crazy to me, and that's very broad. Then it protects minors. In 1978, it was amended to expand the Act's protections to include minors of either sex, specifically against commercial sexual exploitation. I can get that because that's where, that basically involves sex trafficking.
I was going to say that's trafficking. Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is, right?
This is your chick that you dealing with. Cassie was his chick. Jane was his chick. I'm flying y'all out to give me some. We all in relationships. We doing what we do. We being grown. You can't. And then not only that, and not to say that they weren't violated. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're sending this man and they have proof that you're sending them text messages of, Diddy, I need a freak off, or I missed this, or I missed that, or I want to do this, I want to do that. If you're answering these Craigslist ads, if you're posting these ads and you're the one, and everything's in your name, not his, even if it's for him, everything's in your name, and you're sending it out saying, I'm looking for a man to do XYZ for me and my husband, you are participating in that. That's not transportation. That's
yes, it is. As long as you cross state lines, yes, it is.
But what I'm saying,
that's why he got caught.
What I'm saying is, but why isn't she being convicted of the same crime for the transportation of prostitution when she was the one having the intercourse with the man? Like I'm not saying that I'm not saying she's not a victim. I don't want anybody to think I'm defending him. I'm just going by these things if they're lesser charges and just me being on the street.
She's not on trial. Like at the end of the day, this is the federal government. The federal government only wants the big fish. So this is why I say,
yeah, they do.
The federal government gambled on all of the evidence, threw most of the evidence out of the way, and came up on these 5 or 6 charges and lost. As far as I'm concerned, they lost. You couldn't convict him on sex trafficking. He did that.
That's crazy. It's black.
You did that, but you lost.
Okay.
You lost because you was trying to get a RICO charge. That's how I look at it.
Okay. Is Marlon there too? I think we have a couple of callers and we have Fly Ty online. Hey, Ty. Hey, Ty. Mr. Life of the Party.
Oh, Fly Ty's here. What up, man?
Can he hear us?
He looked like he's frozen.
He's frozen?
Oh, now he's moving. Fly Ty, can you hear us? You might have to unmute yourself. You might have to unmute. I think he might be muted.
Okay.
He might be muted.
I know Marlon's calling in too.
That's Marlon Grill.
Yeah. Is he here already?
Yeah, that's who's there. I thought that was Fly Ty.
Oh, no, that's Marlon? Okay, you could put Marlon in. Marlon, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey,
okay.
Now.
Everyone, hey, what's going on?
Everybody, we have the CEO of TV, Marlon Greer, on the line with us to talk about this big day in hip hop, big day in entertainment, big day in news, the Diddy verdict. What are your thoughts?
Well, I really try not to get into this stuff too much. We got a lot of projects out, a lot of stuff going. I need all my mental capacity and everything to focus on what we're doing. And, we're in media and we know how the media can sensationalize a lot of things. So I really, I got on it because, I came on here because we're family, this is like a conversation. But one thing I did want to bring up, that I'm not here to say whether he did it or whether he didn't. He just went through a trial, right? So the jury spoke. So we have to respect that. It's interesting. A lot of times in our community, when somebody gets into something, everybody becomes a district attorney or, a legal representative somehow. Everybody has their Juris Doctorate, so it's very interesting. But one thing when I was in the green room, I heard you speaking about the Mann Act, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Commissioner was talking about the Mann Act or the history of it. And it's interesting. If I'm not mistaken, the Mann Act was created like in 1910. And actually it was created to really incriminate the boxer Jack Johnson.
Absolutely. I knew you were Jack Johnson.
Yeah, and what the issue with Jack is, he was knocking out everybody, whatever, and then he was dating Caucasian women. And that was the thing. That was his preference. And the powers that be didn't like it. So if, I'm not an attorney, that was my minor in college, but I can't claim that at all. But if I'm not mistaken, that was created just to get Jack Johnson arrested. And I think he was indicted on that and sent to prison for that.
Yeah. And he was sent to prison for that, right? He gets out and he marries the woman. That's his wife.
That's crazy. So he went to jail for his wife.
And, it's so, and it's interesting that law was so intentional and deliberate. It only spoke about the trafficking of women at first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think other, men and everything was introduced in that. But that was created specifically for him.
Yep. The law changed in
interesting.
1978, to be honest. To be exact. The law changed in
1978.
1978.
Oh, look at that. What, 60 years later, almost 70 years later.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's wild. But that law, you're right.
Regarding this Diddy trial, yeah, so it's interesting. So when you talk about that and you look at how it's being used now again, it's almost similar to what it was created for. So again, I'm not going to get into whether Diddy did it or whether he didn't do it. He didn't do it, right? He was found not guilty of 3 verdicts. But I do have a problem with him not being let out on bail.
Hold on, Marlon. Before we go any further, because we getting some feedback. So I want to we're gonna take a quick break so we can get the audio set up, right? And then we're gonna come back to that comment. Can you hear me? It's a little. We're gonna come right back. It's your girl BX outside the booth, DJ Commission, Marlon Greer, Fly TV. We'll be right back.
Yep.
The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
It's a problem with the audio.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a. It was like. There's also like a delay too.
Glitching a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a glitch. Yeah.
Okay.
Marlon, you want to say something real quick?
1 2 1 2.
Okay, that sounds good. Is
it
It's still like a glitch in your screen. I don't know if that's a Wi-Fi thing or not.
Oh, I can't see his screen.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, maybe because I'm in a different place.
So do you want to call in? Do you want to call on the phone and I send you the phone number?
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay, I'll send you the number right now.
All right, perfect.
Okay, cool. He should have it any second. Sent it. You there, Kamish?
Yeah, I'm here.
I didn't know about this Mann Act, so I'm being educated right now.
Yeah. There's more to it. I'll try to get to the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they amended it a little bit because obviously there was at that time that they made this. They made it for Jack Johnson and not about sex trafficking. So now they're using it for sex trafficking.
Changing the rules up as they go along.
Mm-hmm. Like they always do.
Actually moving the line.
He's on. Because if anything, I could just add a picture of him when he's speaking, like as a split screen.
Yeah, you'll hear it.
Oh, okay. He's on Miss 646. Oh, yeah?
He's walking around with his phone. He's doing mad much. I'm like, what?
Who, Jermaine Dupri?
Yeah.
He got new music coming out. That's why. He dropped a new record today, I think. Was it today or yesterday? Maybe been today. You got a joint called Magic City Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's gonna be I think they're doing a documentary on Magic City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out really soon. I think it's coming out on Hulu or something like that. Which is kind of wild to me, but it makes sense. Like they did one on the Tunnel. They should do one on Magic City. They should do one on KOD too.
He's on.
Okay, that's Marlon. Okay, we're gonna come back.
Hey.
That sounds good. Want to bring it back?
That sounds a lot better. Yeah.
You want to bring it back, Commissioner? Or you want me to bring it back?
We can bring it back.
Okay.
You can bring it back.
So let me ask you. So what we didn't happen, right? So we're taking it straight from the top, right?
Oh no, that happened. We just had the audio, and we just coming back from the audio issues. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. All right.
The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
And we're back with Marlon Greer And DJ Kamish, I'm your girl BX. We're talking about the Diddy verdict today. And Marlon, before we were having a little technical issue, so we want you to pick up where you left off, talking about the Mann Act and when it was amended. So 1968, you guys said?
No, 1910.
1910 to 1968.
So basically I was saying, you know, when I was in the green room, you know, I came in on the tail end of the conversation. I think Kamish, you know, was speaking about the Mann Act, and I was saying there's a lot of similarities with why the Mann Act was even created in the first place to how it's being used now. Because I don't know if the audience is familiar with the former heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Johnson. So African American man, you know, unbeatable pretty much was Mike Tyson before Mike Tyson.
Wow.
And pretty much he had a preference for dating Caucasian women. So he would only date, you know, white women. And the powers that be didn't like it, but they couldn't do anything about it. So they created this Mann Act for him. And like I was saying before, in this exception, it was only about the trafficking of women. And, you know, it was something created specifically to jam him up. And he actually ended up going to prison for that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And then Kamish, you said he ended up marrying that woman that he was locked up over.
That was his girl.
That's crazy.
Like, it was his girl. Like, he was traveling with her, and, you know, as the world heavyweight champion. They didn't like the fact that he was the first black world heavyweight champion. He was knocking everybody out. You know, he was brash, he was cocky, he was arrogant. You know what I mean? Like, they just hated him. They hated him for that.
Oh, so do you think that the thing that happened to him, even though we do know Diddy has a different type of lifestyle, do you think he's being targeted and condemned for his lifestyle as well as, you know, other things that he's being accused of?
I honestly, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I don't think they care.
Mm.
I don't think they care. I think it's, you know, it's the federal government. You want a big fish. You want, this may sound crazy. You want a black man who is a big fish, and you want to bring him down.
And he was coming
necessary. Any means necessary.
And he was coming for them to get what he feel that artists and black people in the business were not being treated fairly and equally when it came to the monetary benefits.
Listen, I'm not buying.
You can't see your face. You can't see your face right now.
I'm not buying any of that. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not buying any of that. Like, I don't think that man is not going to be the crusader for everything that's right.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, especially if you talk about
absolutely
getting their money. Like, I'm not. Are you kidding me? Like,
right.
Artists don't have their money that he had.
Right.
Cassie probably one of them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't have the masters to her albums that she has.
And she only had one album. Marlon, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, I would say one thing again. You know, I'm not a lawyer or anything of that nature, but I just look at how, you know, he was treated in this case in opposed to other people that have similar cases, right? That's all I can do, right? We look at the data, the analytics. And I know Harvey Weinstein, you know, he had a lot of, you know, similar accusations against him. I'm not sure if I saw, like, the, you know, Marines run into his house.
Right.
And, you know, have the AK-47s pointed to his children, you know, which, you know, I do a lot of work with young people. And that's a traumatic experience, regardless of how much money you have, for people to rush into your home. And Diddy, you know, he might not, you know, I don't know what he did or what he didn't do, but I mean, he does, you know, he is running a record label and businesses, and, you know, so, I mean, this is not, you know, somebody that I think that, you know, you needed all of that fanfare for. You know, even when he came to New York in September, and it was clear that he was going to turn himself in, but then he was still like accosted and detained prior to. So if it's somebody else, I don't know if it happens that same way. You know, I don't know if they'd be like, hey, just show up to the precinct at 7 o'clock and, you know, no handcuffs. It's not a public thing. So, when you look at the history, again, you don't want to just play the race card, but it's kind of always the race card, right?
Yeah.
And the one way or another. This is a form of like buck breaking, right? If you look back in slavery times, you take the biggest, the brightest, the strongest of us, and you ridicule them. And then now it takes us, we're doing our thing in our own right, but, Diddy is level to everything, right? And now they do that to him. So now we think about our moves and actions before we do it because we see what was done to Diddy.
Right. That's what it's all about. To me, that's what it's all about. Again,
I was personally shocked that his bail was denied because the news anchors, the specialists, the legal analysts, they were all so sure he was getting out. So I was under the impression that he was getting out and was maybe house arrest.
But you got to remember, these are the same people that said that he was going away for life and he'll never see day. So, no one knows, only, people. And then this case was so interesting because no one was really allowed in the courtroom, right? So everything is like third party, right? And no one knows how these things play out. I mean, maybe, now the thing is, from what I understand, that he didn't get bail, right? And then the hearing is not until October.
Get out of here. The bail hearing is another 5 months away almost.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. So you say, what happens with that? Does he get time served when he finally goes in front of the judge? Or,
does he I don't know. Does he get the 20 years that they're saying that this can carry? Would you be shocked if he gets the 20 years? Like with him doing this and everyone saying he always got away with everything from the CCNY party, the in New York club shooting, speculation that he had something to do with the death of Biggie Smalls, and now this. Do you think that he's now getting karma? Because that's also being reported on CNN.
I don't know. All of this stuff is speculation, it's hearsay, and I really, I can't go on most of the stuff that I see and hear from my own eyes and ears.
Right.
So when it comes from a whole nother source, you don't know. But one thing you can say is that, similar to like the OJ situation, which was astonishing to me. He got off for what was, what they said that he did or whatever, and he beat that charge, but then he ends up going to jail for getting back baseball cards, right, or something that was actually
his football memorabilia.
His own football memorabilia.
Right, you got the time person, and then he goes and does time on that. So, like, you never know how these things play out.
Right.
So, yeah.
So with the family celebrating earlier, and then the crazy things, I don't know if I'm lightening the mood or making lighter or making a joke. I don't know. The crazy thing is the fans that were outside of the courthouse, they started spraying and squirting baby oil on this woman, and she started like jumping around and rubbing the baby oil on herself, and then her wig falls off. Like they were now, glorifying the baby oil thing now after the split decision. Yeah, that was wild. It was wild.
Right I don't know what I'm gonna do with your people, man.
That's not my people.
Yeah,
I'm not claiming that woman or that gentleman that was doing that.
You was about to go down there, though, BX. You did.
I did want to go down there because one is great content, and two, I wanted to be a part of. If he came out, I wanted to see what his reaction was going to be. Was he going to come out with the hands up like he did before? Like, yes. Was he going to come out humble and on some, thank God? Or was he going to just sprint straight into the van and go?
He was going
to. I really don't understand how you thought that this man was going to be released today. I don't understand that.
Only going by what the reports were saying. Like you guys are saying, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. But it was.
But you know what it is, Commish? I'm not an attorney again, but I was speaking to a few attorneys earlier, and the consensus was that he would never have been picked up for these two charges, right? Because these are the lesser out the five, right? These two, right? The three, the RICO was really what they was going after. So since he was found not guilty of the 3 heftier charges, they figured it would be a potential of him getting bail for this, right? And you say, oh, he might run or what have you. But again, I just alluded to he was coming to turn himself in September. And that's when, like, the stakes was the highest. So you really, is it possible? Yeah, but not probable that he would run right after beating the 3 main charges, right? You would stay here, just hang out and come back and see what the sentencing is. But it didn't go that route. But it's, that would have been feasible. That's not far-fetched to think that he could have got bail, and came home until until his sentencing.
So then what do you think is going to be the outcome? I want to know your prediction, and then we're going to let you go after this. What is your prediction as a viewer?
You don't know, but I mean, I would say, I don't know if Diddy really has a criminal record, right? I know he's been involved with some things, but I don't think he's done any time.
He has no time. Right. Yep, they say he has 0 points.
Right, 0 points. So you say both of these charges, the maximum is 10 years. So that means you can get anything, right, from like probation to 10 years, right? So I don't know. First time, I mean, then he does have money, right? That comes into play, and he has the best attorneys. It's just hard to say. It's I would say 60-40. He'll probably be coming home.
Okay. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our CEO of Fly TV, Marlon Greer. Can we get a quick round of applause for him calling in? Marlon, thank you for calling in and give us your thoughts on that verdict.
Always a pleasure. Much love outside the booth team.
Yes, I'll see you soon.
Again. All right. Much love.
All
Thanks
right,
for having me.
Thank you. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back. We got another call in and we'll be right back. I'm your girl BX, DJ Commish. DJ Knuckles is on location. We'll be right back.
The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. New Party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
We're a bit behind, so.
Well, I told him to call at 6:40, so that's okay.
Okay. All right.
And then Knuckles is calling at 6:50, and then we're going to ride it out. Because Knuckles got some stuff he wanted to say.
All right. That works.
Is he on the phone? Oh.
So who's on now? Who's up next?
Fly Tie. Mr. Life of Your Party?
Yeah. He's on the line now?
He said he's calling in.
Okay.
Yeah. But we could pick back up if you want, so we could keep it going, and then when he comes in, we could just, do that.
Did you text him?
Yeah, I text him.
Okay.
Oh, okay. He said, what's the call-in number? He's calling in right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's about to call in. We can bring it back in, and then when he calls, you can just introduce him. Commish, it's DJ Fly Tie calling in.
All right.
Okay. That's him already? Oh, okay. Hey, Ty.
Yeah, that's DJ Fly Tie outside the booth. What's good?
Well, what's going on? We get ready to come back in from commercial breaks. Give us 1 second.
All right,
to come in.
Take your time.
Bring us back, Commish.
The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. New Party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
All right, so we're back. DJ Commish, BX, we're here outside the booth. And we have another caller because we're talking about this Diddy verdict. And we have on the line the homie, Mr. Life of Your Party, DJ Fly Tie. What up, man?
Yeah.
Yo, check in on the section. What's good, y'all?
What's going on, baby boy?
I'm good. I heard the whole New York City, including y'all, talking about Diddy. I just want to chime in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get my little 1-2.
Oh, yeah? So what do you think?
Feeling?
What you thinking?
Yo, it's a thin line, yo. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This as a dude, yeah, I feel bad for all the things that we heard of, yes.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if you know this industry, that's all I'm gonna say. if you're gonna take him down, take down the whole freaking industry. You feel me? Like, don't just stop at one. Yo, what's up? Y'all, I'm on the radio. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the street, y'all. Everybody just running up on me. But listen, it's like I said, it's a thin line. It's a thin line between like what goes on in the industry and what he's getting ridiculed for. Yes, as a man, that is bad because I wouldn't want that to happen to my mother, my sister, anybody in my family. The things I heard, yes, bad. But the things I heard in this industry that I know about, nah. I don't know how long they're gonna stay in the jail for, but at the end of the day, I just think outside the booth for giving me a chance to just voice my opinion and just say it's a thin line between who's for it and who's against it. You know what I'm saying?
Quick question.
Because I'm walking through the neighborhood.
Quick question. Did you were you surprised when the judge denied his bail?
Yeah, I did, but see, this is my thing. See, I get deep with it. Why they didn't deny Abercrombie and Fitch bail? They did the same thing, right?
Oh no, they beat everything. They beat everything. They home.
You notice they beat it quietly though, right? Yeah. No attention to their brand. They beat it quietly, and then you got Puff. Now it seemed like he's being railroaded as a black man for us, and I'm sorry to throw it out there like that, but it's just like we coming to get you. You know what I'm saying? But it's the flip side of it. He was bad in what he did, yeah. But don't NBA players do that all the time?
Yeah.
But I guess it was the flying the dudes in and the chicks in, right? And then paying the dudes, right? Because I didn't really follow the trial like that because there was so many things going on. Well, I'm like, damn, that's not the music I heard. Like, that's not the Puff I know. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't go to the party. I didn't hang around the, you know what I mean, incidents. But it's just wild to see from R. Kelly, Tory Lanez, now Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
My question is, who's next?
Yeah, that's
who's next?
And I hope nobody. I hope everyone's learning a lesson after this one. But I know that you're.
But
out.
How you?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm out in the streets right now. How you railroading Puff for something like that? The charges that you charged him on. You didn't get him on a RICO. All right, they proved that. But how are you charging him with prostitution when half of the world is watching that on TV with baddies of this and baddies of that? Ain't that the same thing?
Yeah.
Ain't that a bunch of women running around? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that a bunch of women running around just, throwing their tail the next one, throwing their tail the next one? Or what about the Bachelor series?
He's got a point.
Where the women fly in from?
He's got a point.
Where do they fly them in from?
He's got a point.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach, my brother. Preach.
He's got a point.
And that's all I'm saying. But listen, professional style. I'm still DJ Fly Time, I'm still Mr. Life the Party. Don't get it twisted. I don't agree with the nasty stuff that they do it. Everybody's a freak in their own right. That's his business. But what I'm talking about, you promoting that stuff all over TV now, but you want to ridicule him for it?
Yeah.
When the girl got paid, now she's saying she's being threatened. Her life is. Come on, like you couldn't get that man bail for his family, house arrest. Like I seen worse.
Yeah. And that's Mr. Life of the Party.
And I said, it's a thin line, y'all. It's Mr. Life of the Party, DJ Fly Star. Shout out to Commish, shout out to Knuckles, shout out to D. I got nothing but genuine, much love for y'all. But like I said, it's just a thin line, y'all.
Yeah.
And we got to look at this in the industry. When a chick say, y'all want to holler at you, where do you live at? All right, I can't message you. You feel me? Now I got to stay local again. So it's crazy out here. But then, like I said, you can't be doing that to him and then you promoting baddies in L.A. with none in them. Like, what are you doing? They all in Africa. So that's intercontinental, right? But I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all have a great day, all right?
Life of your party.
I'm going to leave y'all alone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yo, listen. He has a 100% point. Because if that's the case, then you're talking about television networks that's cutting checks for these people, for these reality TV shows, whatnot. That is RICO. How can you have a RICO charge on one person?
Eesh, one person.
RICO is an organization.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm looking up this information on the Mann Act or whatever, and it gives you examples of the cases.
Yeah.
I have not seen a white person's case on this man act
at all.
At all. I
That's
see Jack
great.
Johnson. I see Diddy on here. I see modern day use, which is like the whole sex trafficking thing, which is what they modified the Mann Act for. And 1986 they started. They changed the law to make sure that was kind of included into it. I get it, but yeah. Wow.
Well, we got another caller on the phone. We have our friend of the show and who you've known for over 20 years, DJ Snatch One.
Oh, S1, what up?
I don't know who that is. What up?
I said S1. I think you know who that is.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about.
All right,
I know she's trying to get me Rico.
No.
What's good, man? How you feeling?
I'm sorry, S1.
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm alive and everything is good. I'm healthy. And I'm free.
Yeah.
He said I'm free.
He's free. So
I get it, man.
Of course, we're talking about the Diddy verdict today. What are your thoughts and what's your take on the outcome? And what do you think about the judge denying his bail today? Do you feel he's a target?
Well, I'm now hearing that the judge denied bail, which is crazy. Like, what are you expecting him to do? Like, he's not a danger to anybody at this point. And denying bail for prostitution is wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, let's think about that. Let's put it all in a nutshell. At the end of the day, he's convicted of prostitution. Denying bail,
that's crazy.
Pimping and hoeing is crazy to me.
That's
crazy. Think about it. Think about that. Think about that. Denying bail for pimping and hoeing.
Yeah.
John Wall made a whole living off of that. So that's crazy to me. But at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, I know Puff. I never met Diddy, so I don't know. I don't know, his lifestyle. I don't know the extent of all that was going down. I don't know coercion and all of this stuff that they're doing. But one thing I do know, the media and the public is making this a spectacle. They're taking it a bit too far as far as trying to manipulate. Let me not even say monetize the situation. And at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about to start. Monetization of these acts, and now you're using these same acts to monetize for yourself. So that's kind of crazy if you ask me. But as far as the case in itself, I was never understanding 100% how that was even a case if it was all consenting adults.
Right.
Regardless to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I never caught. See, I don't know the in and out of it, of course, but I'm not sure. Me personally, I know I'm not gonna continue to do something that I didn't want to do under any circumstances. Under any circumstances, I'm not gonna do something that I didn't want to do.
Right.
Especially when it gets to the level of some of the things that were said to have been done, the urination and stuff like that. I'm not doing none of that as a person.
Right.
Maybe I'm different. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm different.
But there's some freaky people out there. He's not the only freaky person out there.
Not even that they should.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that. I'm saying I would not have done it if I didn't want to do it.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So S1, this is DWI. I feel like there's ambulance chases out here. There's people that will jump in front of your car to get hit to suffer pain to get some money. So a sexual act, like people just are doing mad much. When you think about it on a, for us that's outside and we know how things happen, it's like y'all really, this is what y'all doing? Like this is the best that y'all can come up with case wise?
Yeah, that's crazy. And
go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm listening to even that. Yeah, they are doing the craziest stuff to get money, but if we don't suck into that, no Diddy, You know, I still got to say no Diddy when we talk like that. If we don't tuck into that, then there would be no. Let's put it to you like this, and this is something in a nutshell. I could put it down to a nutshell like this. I remember back in the days, there used to be a strip club on Flatbush Avenue and Glenwood Road called Cheetah. Not Club Cheetah that everybody knows. It was Little Cheetah, little strip club right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. I know you're talking about.
I remember that was the hood spot. And when you went to Cheetah, you would see the strippers, right? And it was, I mean, it was getting it in, right? But then the next day, if I'm in Wallbound, which is up the block, if I saw Pat, who was in the strip club the night before, she would definitely be looking at me like, "Yo, don't you dare say nothing to me. You ain't even supposed to even know me,
right?
Like, let alone talk about, we was getting it in, or this is what I do," because it was almost taboo to be a stripper.
Right.
The social network monetization of it has made it where now I'm the bomb if I'm a stripper. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm going to get my body done. And I'm going to do all this because I want everybody to know I'm a stripper.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now that the lifestyles are like that, how are you now going to deny bail to a guy who just has the funds to take that lifestyle and expound on it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he has the ability.
Yeah, like my brother said,
that same lifestyle that you're now.
My brother said earlier today, he said, how you lock up the John and the prostitutes get to stay out.
Right.
That's what my brother said.
There's women out here demanding money for dates right now.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be like, I can't even do that for you no more. Like, we can't even do that type of transaction.
Yeah, like women are saying, oh, if I give you some, guess what? My rent is due. You got my cell phone. I know somebody who was like asked to pay for something as crazy as a parking space. Like the girl asked him, like, yo, I need you to pay for my monthly parking when they first met. That's crazy.
Yeah, and but then you turn around and now I'm doing all of that, and this is what I want you to do, and you could simply go, you know what? I know I did it 6,500 times, but I really only wanted to do it 3 times. The other 6,497, I really didn't want to do it, even though I had the money and the fame and the house and the jewelry and the cars, and I enjoyed all of that. I really didn't want to do the actual act.
Right.
It's wild to me.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And you know what's crazy? It's women out here paying for the you know what too. Where are these women?
Where they at? Where they at?
Well, I know. Listen, I know it's some women out there paying for it because they can't.
Call my phone.
Listen, you know what?
Call my phone.
You know what? S1.
I got bills.
I can't with you.
But
what you're saying is right. What you're saying is right. Like it's crazy. They are monetizing, and just for you saying like they're monetizing tonight, soon as the verdict was in, maybe an hour later, you have ABC saying, "Oh, tonight on Dateline, 10 p.m. Diddy the verdict, a full trial documentary ready to go."
Yeah, how they have that already?
They have it ready. They
all. I know. I saw it. I saw that. But I'm like, how? If it's not about the bread and it's about the person that's being, or the 2 people who are being destroyed mentally, then how do you have this thing ready to go for the world to see a couple of minutes after the situation is already laid out?
You'll see Cassie come out in a couple of weeks too. Like you'll see Cassie on one of those I don't know if they still do 2020 or something like that, but you'll see her do that too.
Big bag, it's gonna be a situation.
And she already got 20 million. She'll get another 10.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie, and I'm gonna be honest with you, her name is only out there now because it spurred the whole thing. Because if it was up to her, she would be Jane too, because Jane is going to get money just for being to the company, or that is the first one to get her to come out and legally say for a bag that she was Jane.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a bag just for that.
Right.
I was Jane, and now another bag for the story.
Right.
So it's wild, man.
Yeah.
I know Puff. I know Puff. I know Puff Daddy. I know Sean Combs. I never met Diddy a day in my life.
Okay.
So I can only wonder. What the situation was like, what they were doing. But it just seemed crazy that a dude was denied bail, from what y'all are telling me.
The Sean Combs, the Sean Combs and the Puff that you know, was he like this, or was he? How was that person that you know?
He was about money. Puff always been about money. Mm-hmm. Puff always been about trying to get it. But we're not talking about that guy. We're talking about the guy who had,
who had it,
who got the power. He had the money and the power.
Yeah. Yeah, but the bottom line is the money and the power could have made him buy a whole bunch of cars. The money and the power could have made him travel the world and purchase a Learjet. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the guy who had fetishes. Whether he had $5 fetishes or $500,000 fetishes, he just had fetishes. What's different for him and me going to the track and getting a broad off the track and giving a 40 bag of weed and some perks and hopping off, and then I get locked up? Are they gonna deny bail of me?
No.
Right.
What's the difference?
You're right.
What's the difference?
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank
and it's my first offense. What's the difference?
Right.
Well, we want to thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling in, S1. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate you too. I'm gonna come check y'all out soon. Shout to the BK Killer Dogs. I gotta get back to the game. I'll see you later.
All right.
All right. Later.
Yeah, this is crazy. But we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come back and close out on the Diddy verdict. This is a big day in New York, big day in hip hop. It's your girl BX, DJ Kamish, DJ Knuckles is calling in. Y'all stay tuned.
The new party 1019. The new party 1019. The new party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
Oh, okay. That's what that beat was. Well, y'all real techie in here.
Yeah, what was that?
It was just a reminder that the signal was unstable. I don't know if it was my signal or his signal, but
okay.
It should pop up on the screen.
That's crazy. We just waiting for Knuckles to call. Let me call him real quick while we not on the air.
Right. Because I'm looking at it and saying that we're 52 minutes in for the live. So maybe we
Knuckles call in. Here he come. He about to call. He sound like he's in a whole club. I hope it don't sound bad on the phone.
Boy, this is gonna be interesting. He probably working.
You want to bring it back, Kamish?
When
he called, we could just jump right in.
When he calls?
No, we're gonna jump in now, and then when he calls, we just gonna let us know that he's on the phone.
All right, that's what it is then.
Oh, he's already on the phone? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We about to come back. We about to come back from the commercial break.
All right, bring me in.
Okay.
The new party 1019. The new party 1019. The new party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
We're back here outside the booth. Of course, this is the Diddy verdict special, I guess you want to call it.
Yes.
DJ Kamish, BX is here, and the homie is on the line.
DJ Knuckles.
Who is here?
What's up, y'all? Study.
What's going on?
Sitting next to y'all. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be sitting there snapping on Tawana about some shit. BX, what up?
Why you gotta start? Listen. Don't get fancy because you have a show right now. So Knuckles is out he's doing a show actually, so he stepped away from his show to come and call in. And we're talking about the Diddy verdict. Just to let you know who's called in. We have Marlon called in from Fly TV, Mr. Life of Your Party, Fly Ty called in, and we just finished speaking with DJ S1. So New York is really buzzing, and our friends of the show are really calling in and dropping some real good opinions. So with that being said, and me and you've been texting all day today about this, what are your thoughts on the verdict?
I'm gonna be honest. I knew what was going to happen. Unfortunately,
in my early life, I grew up with a lot of people that was in the street, and you know, because of the stuff they were doing and the way they were doing it, how much they were doing it, they ran into federal stuff. So them feds don't play, man. They take precedence over their stuff. But I do want to say, I knew that they was going to have a lot of charges and then get them on something. Y'all remember, if I tell you a whole story of something, you're listening to the details of it. So everybody, the whole world is worried about who he having sex with, how he having sex with them, and why he having sex with them, how nasty and freaky he is, but they're not listening to the one or two things the feds is listening to. How did he set it up? The number one stripper that they talked to, who I used to DJ for, by the way, Big Punisher, big shout out to Harlem.
Wow. So that was real. He was in the trial then.
Applied the date.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He was getting called by Puff, but he lived in Harlem.
Right.
If you flew him out to work, he's now an escort. And if you have someone having sex with multiple people and it's about money or it's a business setting, not an emotional, because if you remember, after every conversation, there was money involved, money exchanged, flights was made. That's what the feds was listening to. So the more they made people talk about the storyline, that came up in the storyline. So those are charges. Now let's go into the fact that where he got arrested, where the charges is coming from. Now, one person we talked to, love all my brothers, my sisters, can remember to say, "Oh shit, he was getting a Los Angeles charge. Oh, it was a Miami charge." Remember, he got locked up in Miami. I mean, they raided his houses in LA and Miami. So which charges is coming from? Each of those cities and states got different charges for prostitution. Feds will put a bunch of charges on you and they're going to get you on something. R. Kelly had 15 back in 2002. He beat all 15 because, and the one that he could have got, he beat them all, but the one that he was supposed to lose on is the videotape because they have footage.
Yep.
But it was tainted because it was already in the street. So he beat it.
Yep.
If Diddy had all the footage and it was out in public, he would have beat this.
I look at it this way. I look at it this way. This was the Southern District of New York who bought this case, correct?
Correct.
This was Southern District of New York.
Correct.
I look at it this way. Southern District of New York has especially a recent history of you get, if they bring up something on you, you've gone down, it's over. Right? The Southern District of New York got beat in this case.
Yep.
They got beat.
They don't like that.
They went for a RICO charge on one guy, which is crazy to me. So they went on a RICO charge of one guy trying to catch the big fish, I guess, right? And they lost.
Yeah.
They lost. I don't even know the sex trafficking. I don't even know how you lose that, but you lost that too. You lost that too. So this lesser charge.
Honestly, I'm listening.
I was just saying this lesser charge, which is prostitution, you had to go back to the Mann Act. You had to go back to the Mann Act of 1910 to even convict. But it was going to get him on something, so they got him on that. It's wild to me, but
yeah.
How did you lose that though? How did you lose that?
Because they couldn't prove it.
Yep.
You know, they needed a little bit more, but the feds give you a ton of charges and have to prove. If you just got to prove murder, one case, murder without a doubt or whatever it is. Imagine having 15, 20. How about just the 5, 6 that he had?
Yeah,
so he had to beat his lawyer had to beat all of those. He didn't beat all of them. He only had 2. So everybody's happy about this because the ones who don't understand him beating the RICO case is good is because he won't get life. It's mandatory life.
But 10 years, he could possibly get 20 years if they make it go concurrent or consecutive.
Well, he's going to get time. Plus, he's going to get time served. And another thing is that Fed time. I don't quote me, but I do know it's somewhere in this. I don't know if they change it to 90%. You know, once all this, because remember that was a mob That was a mob organizational charge. That didn't go for nobody but the mob. They started using it for the street gangs because they were doing things and getting away with murder. They shooting people and coming back after a year. So my thing is, that, I mean, the state was like, oh, let's change all of this. We can get these guys for 10 years, 5 years, add the 2-3 years with the gun. Let's start putting the RICO charges on the gangs because they're literally doing all this as the mob do. They moving in a crew. And that's how they start sweeping the street. So some of these cases are RICO charges because once you start doing it from state to state to state, it's like you're moving drugs. You're just moving a woman. You're just moving a guy. You know, you're moving a substance. It is a RICO case. So now that he beat that, he won't get life. We're talking about Puff Daddy. This is not Knuckles in this case. You're like, damn, that's my man. You know, he was a big DJ, but he ain't Puff. But, you know, on that level, we're not looking at the fact that this man is still going to go to jail and his name is tainted right now.
And they denied his bail. So what do you think about them denying his bail? Do you feel like he's a target? Did you feel like he was a target when they denied his bail? Or you think that was justified?
No, his bail was targeted because other people can be a target. Do you remember why they kept him? They kept him because they didn't trust him. He made felonious threats to people. He's a threat to society as far as this is concerned. This is why you get a bail. If they arrest you on a warrant, say you hop the train and you get a warrant because you didn't go. When you go to court, you get arrested for open bottle or something. The cops they just take you in, and you got a warrant in their computer. They can't tell you what the warrant is. They take you to the precinct to see the judge. When the judge see you and then give you a bail, it's because they don't trust your ass to come back.
Right.
They don't trust you to come back. That's what bail's for. Or your crime is that crazy that they don't want you on the street. So to give you an option, because they can't really sentence you right then, but the bail can hold you until they get more evidence till you go to court. That's why you hear some of the criminals go, I'd rather be on the street to fight my joint. Mommy, call Uncle So-so, get the 500. I need to be on the street.
Right. I take it one step further. I take it one step further. It's the Southern District of New York, and you just lost this case. There's no way you lost this. You lost the big charges.
Yeah.
You got the smaller charges. There's no way you let this man walk out. No way.
Their egos is not letting that happen.
Well, it could have been the package deal too. Remember, you get a package deal with the bail. So Puffy lawyers is probably asked. I know they asked him because he got. Remember, he still got his homes and stuff. He got homes in 4 different states: Jersey, L.A., Miami, New York. So they probably said, "Well, we'll give up the passport, but we just want him home with his family because they know he's going to get sentenced to his sentencing. He's going to get sentenced to something." So they don't know what it is. They don't know what the judge going to choose, but let him be home with his kids.
But now he got to stay in there.
Let him be home with his family until his sentencing. Right. So they try to do the emotional shit.
Yeah.
But you can't be emotional for a guy that has half of the fucking industry.
Stop cursing. Stop cursing. Stop cursing. Stop cursing.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting upset because Diddy is, and I'm gonna say it right, Puffy was a dear friend. And I know he got a lot of stuff going on, man, but he opened the doors for so many things to happen. He changed the industry. I just saw a TikTok where they're saying how, and you can relate to this, how, Special Ed, big shout to him, he said, NWA turned hip-hop negative with the grimy music, even though they were talking about what was happening, not creating a bad narrative, but they made it a gruesome area, and then here come Onyx, and here come this, here come that. It made it. Who put the light on hip hop? Bad Boy. Uptown Records. We know now who was at Uptown Records doing that. So Puffy changed the whole thing, and it's like Will Chamberlain in the game. They moved they made a 3-point line, so it make it harder for them to shoot, or get points for these bigger guys. So you made a change for that, and he changed hip hop. So to see him going through this is really bad, man. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna see now.
Listen, man, big shout to.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, babes.
No, I'm just gonna say big shout to him and his family, man, because I came up with Doug Fresh, and that's where Puffy, me and Puffy, and the rest of the guys, Slick Rick, Lil Vicious, all of us learned under Doug Fresh window, and just to see him go down, because now he becomes my idol opposed to appear to me because all the stuff that he's done. We came from under the same umbrella. And I'm watching TV, listening to this, like, damn, my friend is going through that. And, it's nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
but big shout out to Outside the Booth, man. I miss y'all, man.
Yeah, I miss you too. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks. Y'all have a happy, safe 4th of July. For everybody out there, for everybody that's out there, be safe on this holiday. And we're going to stay tuned with this Diddy verdict and see what happens when that sentencing comes up. Kamish, love you, bro. Knuckles, love you, bro. So all of the DJs that called in, all the DJs that called in, Marlon, thank you for calling. Fly Tie, S1, thank you guys for calling and giving us, your take on this Diddy verdict, excuse me, because it's a lot of opinions going on, and it's more to come. So y'all stay tuned. We are outside the booth. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. The new Party 1019. New York's #1 for throwbacks.
All right. We good to go? Y'all can hear me? Oh, all right.